have had students who selected music because their parents want them to, and also because they thought it would be a waste not to do it, as they have played an instrument for their whole life. Some of them don't have a passion for music at all, and they do not like practicing.
I have certainly found students who are heavily encouraged to study certain subjects, such as advanced math or economics, because their parents want them to take a certain degree or career path.
Yes, and it is heartbreaking for me as a teacher. This happens more in IB than IGCSE due to the nature of the IB course selection and the courses required for university applications. Students who are forced to take the subjects are usually indifferent to class activities and show no motivation in general. They can't be bothered to improve in their work. I always use a lot of real-life examples to inspire them and use other high-achieving classmates to motivate them. But eventually it is really the students' choice to take the ownership for their own learning.
So even not only, it's just not even limited only to school level. So even when they move on to university choices, it's like they can't take the arts, arts related undergraduate courses. So they have to go into the more professional ones. So that's where the parents and the society sees there's more wider opportunities for them in future.
他算是被逼留在了 Chinese 的 high level， 然后他刚开始的行为是，据我所知，老师是不能够接受的。比如说上课的时候会故意说一些不合适的话呀，或者是做出一些不合时宜的事情。然后功课也是做的比较马虎一点点，应该是想着可能会以这种方式能不能让他去更低一点的 level 这样子的，但是他的诡计被老师识破了，所以我们只能就是各方跟他谈话呀，然后通过鼓励呀，包括跟家长沟通啊，以这样的方式呢，让他安心能够留在 high level。
So they always believe like what their parents say is like it is good for their welfare and the future, for the better future.
More often than not, that we would see students having all kinds of external pressures. For example, a few weeks ago, I was speaking with a year 12 student, and I asked them, why do you want to study this specific subject at university? And his response was, it's the Asian thing to do. As an Asian, we have a lot of stereotypes about this culture, right? So we're expected to do this, like let's just say all Asians are good at playing the piano, the violin. So there's this boy who wanted to be a good Asian and study the likes of economics and law because it was the Asian thing to do.
Now, onto my definitions. Freely choose refers to the ability to have a say in deciding something as one wishes and not under the major control or influence of another. Subject choices refers to a student's decision in selecting courses based on their own interest, passion, or academic ability. Students, being the ones who are taking the examination, going to the university, taking the major, and doing the job, should have the most say in what they would like to choose. Although supervision from adults and with power should be taken into consideration, the student should have the right to be in full control of their education regardless of other voices and opinions. This then leads to my second point of how students who pursue something they truly enjoy are more easily engaged with the material taught, leading to better grades and a happier student body. If parents, teachers, and university administrators do not want to see their students and their children with unsatisfactory results and an unstable conscience, then why is it a normalized phenomenon to pressure these students to pursue a career they may be unhappy with for the rest of their lives? Blake Bowles, a Huffington Post columnist, states that real learning thrives when students have real choices.
By having to constantly worry and consider different subject choices, test scores, and career options, all in the hopes of getting a chance at a stable living, is already difficult, but the added stress of following the demands of their parents may just be too much, causing significant detrimental effects on the child, ranging from depression, anxiety, sleep deprivations, loss of hobbies, etc. For example, a student taking IB originally wanted to continue to study art and design, but was persuaded to pursue architecture. Although this is a stable, high-paying job, she was not interested. After pursuing this career, her behavior increasingly changed. She became more stressed and developed anxiety. Although she had successfully achieved her mother's wishes, she was noticeably unsatisfied with her success. This showed that subject choices may significantly affect the mental state of students, and by allowing the individual to have more freedom, stress can be significantly reduced. I understand that the child may not know what they want to pursue. Equally, the path that they may want to take might be financially unstable. Despite these points, parents choosing a path for their children would inevitably lead to a lack of interest and unhappiness. As such, the individual student must be directly involved in choosing the path in life they want to take. Therefore, this motion must...
The first speaker of the proposition team stated that students should take subjects they enjoy, no matter if it's the STEM or the arts. However, if people chose solely on passion, it may come to a time when their subject choices are too diverse that it no longer matches any of the admission requirements for what they want to take for university, or even for any course and their career. First of all, parents, teachers, and university guidance staff all have a better understanding of opportunities and experiences each subject may bring. They've lived through this process themselves, so logically, they would have good advice on subjects that are beneficial for the future. Teachers and university guidance staff especially, because they work in this field themselves and have an in-depth understanding on opportunities each subject may bring. In addition, students lack long-term perspectives that adults would have. For example, a student may choose triple arts for IGCSE solely because they have a passion for it. However, what if that child is getting B's and C's on other subjects? This may impact their future life in the long run.
Still in youth, teenagers are ardent in pursuing their dreams and often neglectful of their unknown futures in the times ahead of them. Instead of demonizing parental pressure interfering with a teen's unpredictable future, let us consider this in a different light. Parental guidance and all other sources of so-called external pressures in subject choices is instead a lighthouse in the dark, a presence existing solely to guide and to give advice for the naive in their process of growth. The vitality of guidance they provide, though sometimes may come off as restricting and even manipulative, to the success and future of a student should not be misunderstood for their good intentions.
To summarize my points, students need the guidance from adults in order to choose their subjects because adults have the experience to know what are common mistakes or mishaps, as well as many of them having the expertise in the field.
In conclusion, whether a student would want to pursue STEM or the arts is a decision that ultimately should come down to themselves. Students are unique individuals with different mindsets and different interests, and therefore external pressures should not be a limiting factor for the pursuit of what a child truly wants to do.
The truth of the matter is that students need the guidance provided. They need the right direction, the right path for both their interest and future livelihood, hinted at by someone who knows and can anticipate what is about to come.
True, that's important for a child to enjoy what they're learning in order to maximize potential, but it should not fully compromise their future success, and neither should it limit their job stability and future career choices.
However daunting and unfair it may be, adults will always know more and know better than hormonal, emotional teenagers. Their help is a solace, not a detriment, and this is
This
why
motion must fall.
This is why this motion must stand.
Thank you.
Wow, that was one intense debate with some very solid points raised. Throughout the debate, our marvelous supreme leader Hoi Q has taken some very efficient notes for us.
Yes, of course I have. This debate involved the larger question of whether students should be able to freely choose their academic subject choices. Prop provided the points following. Students are the ones living their lives and not enjoying their subjects they were forced to enroll in, may lead to negative impacts on their mental health, as well as students having a better attitude towards learning subjects that they enjoy. On the contrary, Opp was able to argue that adults would provide good insight and have better expertise due to already having experienced the process themselves, and would likely be more considerate about what is better for students in the long run.
We hope this provides to you that both sides of the spectrum are to some degree flawed, and therefore coming to the understanding that finding a middle ground between the two extremities is crucial in placing judgment, especially on problems like this one.